We are short, dude. 5'5". Today we're gonna see a really interesting video. Sorry, I'm gonna close Amazon Prime. I saw this the other day on my recommended, and I wanted to save it. Average American versus average Mexican people comparison. This is going to be interesting. So I'm stoned. We're ready. Let's watch it. This is from the infographics show. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. He's the original creator.
The nearly 2,000-mile United States border with Mexico is the most frequently crossed border in the world.
True.
According to the BBC,
I crossed that. I've crossed that to San Diego and the San Isidro border crossing
border
point.
between Tijuana and San Diego is the busiest land border crossing anywhere.
Cool.
You might think this close proximity and the fact that people are continually moving between the countries should mean the two nations have a lot in common, but that's not exactly the case. The US probably has more in common with the UK, a country that lies over 4,000 miles across the ocean.
Yeah, that's true.
Mexico's
also.
many indigenous civilizations were colonized by the Spanish in the 16th century, while the USA was a colony of Great Britain.
I always like to say that there's some similarity between us, at least in our history. We were both colonized by European powers. Our Native American people groups suffered a lot. I think the difference was first the religion, second the language, right? The religion is Catholic against Protestant Christian. The language is Spanish Romance language against the Germanic English. And a third is that the Europeans mixed with the natives and created this whole system of mixed people, while in the US, they didn't mixed. So that's probably the biggest differences.
This made all the difference, and today we will discuss these many differences in this episode of the infographic show, The Average American versus the Average Mexican. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. First of all, let's have a quick look at the two countries our citizens call home. The USA is the third, some sources say fourth, largest country in the world with a landmass of 3,796,742 square miles. Today it has a population of 325,365,189 people, making it the third most populated country on the planet. Mexico has a landmass of 761,610 square miles, making it the 13th largest country in the world. The population is 129,669,477 people, making it the 10th most populated country in the world.
Not bad.
So who are these people? The USA is said to be 72.4% white. Other sources have put this estimate as high as 77%. What we do know is that most of these white Americans identify as having ancestry from England, Scotland, Ireland, Germany, France, Italy, Poland, and the Netherlands, among many other European countries. The US Census Bureau states that the next largest ethnic group is Hispanic or Latino, at around 17.6% of the population, followed by Black, 13.3%, Asian, 5.6%, and Native American, 1.2%. Multiracial, meaning people that identify as having mixed ancestry, is around 2.6%. US Census Bureau data also stated in 2016 that 5.6 million Mexican nationals were residing in the US without authorization.
Sorry about that.
As for Mexico, the largest ethnic group there identify as Mestizo. Mestizo is a group, around 62% of the country, that are of mixed ethnicity between the indigenous people of the country and Europeans. The next largest group, at 27% of the population, are Amerindians, which can draw comparisons to Native American Indians.
Yeah, so 62% of the country is mestizo mixed. That's kind of your average Mexican. 22 or what did he say? Like 22% are American Indians or Native. Although this term is kind of weird because in most cases, they speak Spanish, they practice Catholicism, so like they're natives, but they're not. There is a population, of course, of natives that still speak their original languages. However, it's kind of rare. It's probably like between 2 and 5% at best. And yeah.
Think of the Mayas from the Yucatan or Chiapas or the Nahuas, descendants of the Aztecs. White or European Mexicans make up 9% of the population, while Black
9%. I'm not sure where I fall. Like I'm not 100% mestizo. Like I'm not mixed, But I'm not sure if I fall within like white European, and I'm not Amerindian. So it's kind of complicated. It's kind of complex. this whole system. There's a significant population of Arab Mexicans. In my home state, Puebla, there is a lot of Arab Mexicans and Afro-Mexicans, which it's also a question that someone asked me. It goes back to slavery. A lot of times we did have slavery. It was much smaller in comparison, but it counts still. Like 150,000. Like, let's see. We should find an answer about this. Okay, Afro-Mexicans. So, okay, yeah. We should have some sort of answer. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if there's an amount. Yeah. So the Africans, like, there's not a lot of Afro-Mexicans because they mixed with the native population. So you can see in this photo, like, a mixed family, which is made by a white Spaniard. This means white Spaniard or Spanish Spaniard, and this means black woman, and the child is mixed between the white guy and the black woman. I'm not sure if there are any numbers. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it, right? Like 100,000, and there's a population of African Mexicans,
Mexicans and Arab Mexicans are thought to make up about 1% each of the population. With mixed ethnicity comes mixed religions, and the USA has quite a few on the go. Nonetheless, the USA is said to be the world's biggest Christian population, many of whom are still quite devout compared to their European counterparts.
70.
More than 70% of Americans say they are Christian, and the next largest group, at around 23%, aren't really anything at all. Much smaller groups of people are Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, and Buddhist. Mexico is quite similar in this respect, with 93% of the population identifying as Christian. The only difference is that 82.7% say they are Catholic, while other Christian denominations make up around 12%.
That's still not bad. 12% Christian. That's a big number. And at least in Mexico, if you have a Christian friend, that means that they are like hardcore religious, like going to church and spending hours there. And while the Catholics are a little bit more relaxed when it comes to religion, and of course there are small communities of Muslim, Buddhist people, Jews. I have a couple of friends of mine are actually Jewish.
It's thought that only 20.8% of Americans are Catholics. About 4.7% of Mexicans have taken the don't believe or don't know what to think route, while Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and native religions make up a very small percentage. Mexicans
5%.
predominantly speak Spanish, but some people are bilingual or even trilingual, speaking also English and or a native language. The vast majority of Americans are English speakers, although almost 40 million people say their mother tongue is Spanish. Smaller groups state that they are Chinese, French.
If you've gone to Miami, you know that.
Tagalog.
In Miami, my Spanish was a lot more useful than my English.
Vietnamese, Korean, and German speakers, in that order in terms of numbers. What about the demographics of these people? Well, the median age in the USA is currently 37.8 years old. Life expectancy in the US is currently 79.8 for both sexes, which is the 42nd highest in the world. The highest is Monaco at the ripe old age of 89.5. Average life expectancy in Mexico is 75.9, the 93rd highest in the world. The median age in Mexico is 27.9 years old.
We're young.
As for what we look like, the average American man is 5 feet 9 or 9.5 inches. He weighs 195.5 pounds according to the Center for Disease Control. The average American woman, according to the same source, is 5 feet 4 inches and she weighs on average 168.5 pounds. The average Mexican man stands at 5 feet 5.5 inches and weighs around 165
we're
pounds.
Short.
We must point out
we are short, dude. 5'5", so we're slightly taller than the average American female. I mean, I'm not super tall. I'm like 5'7" or 5'8", which I'm actually like average. No, I'm less than average in America. Wow.
Out here that sources are all over the place on this average. The average Mexican woman stands at around 5 feet 2 inches and weighs 151 pounds. Both countries are considered fat. According to the World Health Organization in 2017, 33% of American adults were obese, and
that is something we can definitely share. We both like to eat
In Mexico, 32.1% of adults were obese. It seems one thing these nations have in common is a love of overeating. As for how we live, we know that the USA is a far richer country, and we know from all our other shows on the topic that the USA has the most billionaires in the world. But what about the average Joe? The median annual individual income in the US, with both men and women taken into account.
Come on, I mean, like a taco? Seriously, dude?
For a 40-hour work week is $44,148 per year, according to a 2017 Bureau of Labor Statistics report. Mexico's median income was closer to $12,000 per year. Mexico may have 15 billionaires, some sources say 16, but the country has widespread poverty. A 2015 report stated that 20% of Mexicans are worth no more than $80, with half of the population living in poverty. That 20%, it was reported, don't have the money to eat 3 meals a day. The same report stated that from 34 member countries of the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the gap between wages and hours worked is larger in Mexico than in any other member country. To rub salt in the wounds, according to OECD, that year Mexicans worked on average 2,327 hours, while Americans worked 1,796 hours.
Oh my God.
The United States is seen as a very hard-working country too in terms of hours worked and holidays taken. According to the Center for...
Yeah, I read this once, that Mexico is like the hardest working country. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, dude, whatever. But it's crazy, like very low wages, really.
Poverty research in 2015, the official poverty rate in the US was 13.5%. Financially, Mexicans seem to have it much harder, but what about happiness levels? According to the World Happiness Index in 2016, which takes into account money, work, lifestyle, safety, freedom, etc., Denmark is the place to be. The USA came 13th on the list, and Mexico came 21st on the list.
Not bad.
That isn't bad, considering that Mexico ranked
Yeah.
higher than the UK. In 2017,
The
though,
UK,
Mexico
wow.
and the UK basically changed places, and the United States dropped 1 place. In spite of low wages in some parts of Mexico being notoriously dangerous, it does seem that subjective well-being is pretty good. And that's what counts, right? In fact, in 2014, a Pew
Guess so.
Research study found that Mexicans were the happiest people of the 43 participating countries, which included Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, the US, and the UK. One Mexican news media outlet wrote a story with the headline, "Mexicans, fat and happy, hardworking."
I mean, sure, I guess that's true. That's statistically true. Fat, happy, and hardworking. I like that. You know, that could be our country motto. Fat, happy, and hardworking.
People have actually addressed this phenomenon and
And
said,
by the way, nobody drinks coffee and eats a taco. Just saying.
one factor is that Mexicans have much stronger family ties, but also live a more active public life. While we hear a lot of negative news about Mexico, we don't generally hear about the warm climate, community spirit, rich history, beautiful beaches, the streets often full of music and celebration, the general daily joie de vivre. Speaking of living the good life, be sure to check...
Well, that was fun. That was a hell of a good video. If you liked it, please share, subscribe. Most people don't subscribe. And somebody just liked the comment. And I'll see you in the next video.